Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the 4S blanket crochet along. This month is the May square, and it is the cross stitch or X stitch, or however you want to classify it. Here is a look at what one of my samples look like in the variegated. It's a nice little textured stitch. And then here's my other sample. Let me show you up close what that looks like. So this month we are doing, or for the May month square, we are doing this, and then on to June. So let's get started. Okay, so for this month's square, I'm going to be using this Big Twist Value and the color dark teal, and I'm still using my 6mm hook. And to get started, we're going to make a chain of 43 chains. So chain 43 chains, and I will see you when it's time to start row 1. Okay, so for row 1, we're gonna skip the first chain and go right into the second chain with a single crochet. And we're gonna put a single crochet in every chain across. So go ahead and put your single crochets in each chain across, and I'll meet you at the end for row 2. Once you have single crocheted in each stitch across, we're going to start row 2 now. So we're going to chain 2 and turn our work, and now we're going to start doing our X's or crosses or whatever you want to call them. So the first thing we're going to do is in this very first stitch that our chain is actually coming out of, because this chain here is just going to act as turn-in chains. They're not going to count for anything. So we're going to put a double crochet right there in that very first stitch. Just like that. So to do the X or the cross, we're going to skip this stitch here, and we're going to put a double crochet in this next stitch. Now we're going to work in the stitch that we skipped, but we're going to go behind that double crochet up through that hole and go in to that skipped stitch and grab the yarn, and then we're just going to complete that double crochet like normal. So then you have your X or your cross. Let's do it again. So we're going to skip this next stitch. We don't want to work in this one because we've already worked in this one. We're going to skip this next one and put a double crochet in this one. And we're going to go back behind that one into that hole and get in that skipped stitch grab our yarn and finish the double crochet. And that's what we're going to do all the way across. Skip that next one, work into the next one, double crochet, work behind that double crochet, get into that skipped stitch, grab our yarn, finish the double crochet. So we're just going to complete that all the way across. Go ahead and work your X's all the way across your row, and I'll catch up with you at this very last stitch. Okay, so once you've completed all of your cross stitches or X's, you're going to have one last stitch, and you're just going to do a double crochet into that last stitch. Now for row 3, we're just going to repeat row 1 with that single crochet row. We're going to do a chain 1 and turn. And in that very first stitch, put a single crochet. And then just single crochet in the top of every stitch across. And I will see you at the end of this row. Okay, at the end of your single crochet row, your last stitch is going to be into the top of that double crochet. Do not work into that chain 2. We're not working into that chain 2. So this starts the repeat of the pattern. So for row 4, you're just going to do another row of X's, and so on and so forth. You're just going to do a row of X's, a row of single crochet, a row of X's, a row of single crochet, until you have a total of 29 rows, counting the first single crochet row. So to start off your next X row, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, put that double crochet in that very first stitch, and start your X's. Split my yarn. Go ahead and complete your 29 rows of this pattern, and I will see you when I have completed my 29 rows. Okay, so once you have reached your 29th row, you should have ended with this single crochet row. And now we're going to put a single crochet border all the way around our square. So we're going to chain 1 here and turn the work. And then we're just going to single crochet back across right here in each single crochet across this row. And at the end, you will have 42 single crochets. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you at the end. Once you've gotten down to the end of your row, and you have your 42 single crochets across the top, we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to go right back in that same exact space and do the first single crochet for our raw edge side here. Okay. Now we're just going to go down this raw edge, evenly placing single crochets down this side until we have 42 single crochets along this side. So go ahead and be placing your single crochets evenly along this edge and I will meet you at the end of this. Okay, once you have completed your raw edge side here and you have your 42 single crochets, we're going to chain 2, and now we're going to go across the bottom edge, and this is where our beginning chain started here. So you're just going to crochet, put a single crochet right back into that same place from the single crochet of this side here, and then you're gonna just evenly place, or really place one in each chain across the bottom edge here until you have 42 single crochets across it at the next corner. And then at this corner you're going to just do your chain 2 and then your single crochet up this raw edge, and then once you've done that you'll get back to here, and I will meet you here where we began this border. Okay, once you have reached back to where we began, you're going to chain 2 and then join with a slip stitch to that very first single crochet. Just like that. And then we can cut the yarn and fasten off, and you can weave in that end there now, or you can wait and do it later, but now we are going to begin joining our square to the rest of the blanket. Now, to start joining our blanket, we're going to join our yarn in this bottom right hand corner down here. When you turn your square upside down, it'll be the bottom right hand corner. And we're just going to put a slip knot on our hook, or if you prefer to join your yarn in a different way, that's fine too. But we're just going to go right into that chain 2 corner there and join with a slip stitch. Alright, and then we're going to chain 3, and that's going to count as our very first double crochet for this round here, I guess. Then we're just going to put a double crochet in each single crochet across this bottom part of this square. And I'm crocheting over my tail as I go. Just go ahead and put a double crochet in each stitch across, and I'll meet you at the corner. Okay, so your last double crochet should have ended in this chain 2 corner here. Now we're just going to chain 2, go back in that same chain 2 space corner, and doing our first double crochet for the side here. And on this side we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put one double crochet in each stitch all the way to the next corner, and I will meet you there. Now, once you have gotten this side, now we're going to start connecting it to our blanket. Now, and so far we've only connected one side of each square. So on this square, we've actually got two sides to connect. So right here, we're going to chain one, and then on your beneath your second square from your previous row, you're going to go into that chain 2 corner there, and you're going to slip stitch to it to join up to that square. Now we're joined. Alright, and then you're going to do a double crochet back into that chain 2 space from the square below. And we have our first double crochet for this row. Now you're just going to find the matching your first double crochet from the square up top, slip stitch to it, double crochet into the stitch, the next stitch on the square below. And if your where you had slip stitched your single crochet row is in that stitch, it may be a little hard to get into. Alright, then you slip stitch to the next double crochet from the row or the square above. Find your next stitch on the square below and double crochet into it. And you're just going to do this all the way across until you get to the corners. And then once you get to the corner, I'll meet you there to show you how to join in that corner to all of the squares. Okay, so when you get to your join where you have your corner here, corner here, corner here, and then you have your starting of your corner here, in order to join this to where that there's not a huge hole, what we're going to do is we're actually, instead of joining to this square, we're going to join here to this one. So we're going to slip stitch there to join that. Now we're going to turn our stuff and we're going to put our double crochet, our first double crochet for this side into that chain 2 space there, and try to keep a good tension on your yarn so that you won't have a huge gaping hole there. And you're going to just continue slip stitching to your square, your square above your work. So you're gonna slip stitch, well, there, and then just continue down this side just the same way that we did for the other. We're just going to put a double crochet in our working square, slip stitching along the way to the top square, double crochet in the working square, slip stitch to the top square. So continue on with this, and I will meet you at the bottom join where we will actually be complete with this square. Okay, once you have joined your square all the way down and you're ready to join, you're just going to do a chain 1 and then join to that very first chain with a slip stitch, cut your yarn and fasten off, and then weave in that tail and you are completely finished joining in that square Let me zoom out a little here so you can see what we are working with now. Still can't see all of mine in the frame, but you can see how that is, since we kind of like catty corner slip stitched into that corner there. You can see that it's joined up really well. So all right, that is your May square all joined into the blanket, and I will see you back for the June square.